All right, Improvisation Center back for our next part. In the previous part, you've seen us render this mess of wires into short little runs of wire for different loads inside the car, remove the fuse box, all that good stuff. Now turn our attention to the HVAC system. As I stated before, I'm going to simplify this. Many of you probably are familiar with the aftermarket air conditioning systems that are nothing more than a small blower and a vent at chest level under the dash. That's all it does. Well, that's about the same as what I'm going to do here with this setup. Just have it set up where we have defrost and more or less chest level, floor level, something like that. But all these extra controls and stuff like our outside air vents and all these other little blend doors and all that stuff, we're doing away with all that because we don't need all the extra controls. And frankly, I'm not trying to store all that stuff. Too much hardware for something that's more of a luxury than a necessity. So I'm going to start pulling all this stuff out and see how we're going to do everything afterwards. This is in bad shape right here. All this stuff has been chewed up. Not looking too good. See if there might be a chance of saving this. If not, I'll have to source that next. That old wiring that I pulled in from the dash. More old insulation here. Probably gonna have to go under the hood, pull that box. Got that spot right there, we could pull that out. I gotta pull this fender shield out because I have to be able to gain access to the underside of our HVAC box in order to be able to get those last bolts out to get this unit loose so I can get to the bolt to pull the inner portion out. Fun, fun, fun. It's free. Freedom. And a lot of shit inside there still. Wonderful. Well, at least we get to the nuts to get the rest of this stuff off. Perfect. Freedom. It is free. All right. Got the whole HVAC system, well, minus this part here. Guess I could go ahead and try to remove that. I just have to look and see if I really want to or not. But, yep, more stuff pulled out. Have to see what this thing is, though. I don't know if that's an amplifier or something for the old radio. I don't know. Still has to come out. We got all the HVAC stuff out, as you can clearly see, inside and outside. Took a few seconds to disassemble the outside HVAC box so I could empty out the extra trash that was between the evaporator here and the walls of the box. As you can also see, the evaporator looks pretty nasty. I'm gonna try to see if I could clean this out. Otherwise, I might have to replace this. I really don't want to because I'm sure these things are expensive as hell. I have to put some power on this blower motor too, see how that works, if it works. If it doesn't work, then we have to replace that too. But all in all, everything is coming apart in order for it to come together. The outside box right there, I have to check the heater core. There's a good probability I'm going to replace that because 35-year-old heater core, 40-year-old, I ain't trying to do math right now, but I'm sure that thing is either semi-functional or it's completely clogged up. It's old as hell, so more than likely that's coming out. But yeah, everything's out right there. Continue the work. Get that little amplifier, whatever the hell that thing is, pulled out, and start deciding what I want to do with all the HVAC control stuff before I start putting stuff back together, as well as rewiring. Well, I got the heater core pulled out and dumped out nice bright green antifreeze. So I might actually not have to worry about this heater core, because if it's bright green antifreeze versus shit brown rust water, that's probably a good sign that the heater core is not clogged up full of shit. So yeah, I'm probably going to just throw this thing back together again and move on to the next phase of my reworking of the HVAC system. Looking at that, might be able to, if I could pin that shut, that little passage right up under there leads right up here to our defrost vent. Yep. Might be what we'll have to do. Pin that open, that'll control part of the airflow. Then I have to do the same for our defrost. All right, got our setup figured out here, how we want to do it. This little flap here will be pinned closed. This one here will be pinned open. You see the heater core right there. Here's our defrost vent. That little vent right there will also be pinned in the down position. So when air comes through here, it'll pass, either bypass the heater core when it goes through the evaporator for the AC, or bypass the AC and go through the heater core. But either way, air will come out here and then come up through there and come out through that side all the time. It's the way the flaps are set up, it's gonna be kind of metered more, and the way this is set up with the heater core in its position, you'll have more heat coming out through the defrost than you would AC, cold air, when the AC is running. So you'll minimize the amount of cold air coming out through the defrost. Turn this around, and this little lever right here will be the only real control selected between hot and cold. Heater core, air bypasses, air will go through, not hit the evaporator and just go straight into there. Or we close off the heat, air goes through from the evaporator in that box and bam, through the rest of the crap and out into the car. So pretty much have it figured out for the most part. We'll probably iron out the details when we get it back together. As far as the heater core, I'm debating now whether I want to put a mechanical valve or a pneumatic valve in there. I'll figure that out later. But the main thing was getting the HVAC box figured out, which so far I have. Okay, we made a couple little mods to the HVAC box, like I said I wanted to do. One of which is for the defrost blend door right here. Put a little hole right here in this little piece of plastic and a small hole through the flap. Got it where it's able to be secured. Nothing really too permanent. This could always be reversed if I ever desire to do so in the future. Same thing right here. Put a little hole right at the top of the half a blend door right here, where I could put a screw in there and secure it. there was actually an existing hole right there to begin with. And then same thing right here. This little flap right here of plastic. Put a little screw there and hold this linkage where it can't move, so this bottom half of this blend door stays shut. That way air comes in, it comes out more through here, a little bit goes through there for the defrost, so you don't have a whole lot of it hitting the window, and it'll work as designed on my end, that is. Now last thing is cut a couple pieces of small sheet metal and block these holes here and here. Then this box should be ready to go back in. Yeah, made our little patch. This is actually on the inside of this panel, so it's kind of more low-key, a little neater looking. Same thing right here. Cut a little piece of sheet metal, secured it from the inside. Then this way, once I put this in a second, get that in there, put it all together. Everything looks nice and flush and neat. Of course, nobody's gonna see this stuff, but kind of makes me feel better. It's just a neater setup versus just bolting crap on there and drilling extra holes and all that. And at least, like I said before, all of this can be reversed if I so desire later on. So with that, this is pretty much ready to rock and roll. So I could actually put this box back up if I really want to. Just have to check and make sure that it's not going to be in the way of any wiring paths, which probably it won't. So putting the box back up is going to be our next thing. We'll get this figured out. Here we go. All right. Wires and shit. It's these. Yes, I'm mumbling to myself while putting bolts in. No, I'm not nuts. Let's see. Moral of the story, kids, mark all your bolts so you know what the hell goes to where. Alright, box is reassembled. Our box is reassembled. Now, we have to put it in. Time to remount the box. Okay. Let's get us a bolt in here. here. That's two. Of course, this one will be stubborn. Oh, you piece of shit. Good old cap nuts. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And this is a case of they don't. Let's try this one. And that one doesn't work. If I could get the socket on here, it's always going to be something. Of course, it's a different size cap nut. Wonderful. I bet that one's supposed to go over here on this other stud for the inner box. Might as well get that one on here since that's where it belongs. And go back to our original one that did not want to cooperate. Oh, there it goes. All right. Alright, that one's on. I'll get a socket and tighten that other one in a second, but for all intents, our HVAC box is on. Alright, thought I'd spare you the boredom of me putting the fender shield back on, so yep, I put that back on. As you already seen, we got our outer HVAC box put back up. Got some of the wires neatened up and everything. Still gonna have to figure out the wiring here for the speed control, because our little resistor pack right there needs to be wired up, and the relay there and the motor, all that shit. But Yep, we got everything put back together, set up the way we want to, so we can now start to move on to other things on this car, like maybe putting this intake on permanently, since it's not on permanently. And after doing that, I could put the distributor in. Of course, I'll probably have to take one of the valve covers off, try to get this thing to supposed top dead center on number 1, so when I put the Dizzy in there, hopefully it will be right where we need it to be when we crank this thing. Also, still got a batch of accessories I got to pull off to put on the front there. That'll probably be in the next video as well. So until the next time, I'll catch you later. I'm going to do a little more cleanup on this car that nobody really cares to see, because it's just cleaning up dirt and crap. So click the like button and subscribe, all the good stuff. Continue supporting us so we can continue doing more of this fun stuff around here and build up more, get to see more, and maybe we can all learn something together. Till the next time, see you later.